Hey yo, it's me, Doubi. It's nighttime right now, but good morning, good evening, whichever I upload this at. You saw the title. This is past Doubi, but I know what the title's going to be at this point. But, who am I to tell you how to make a comic? Well, let's just say I've tried. So let's go ahead and get into that. So, I obviously have tried to make a comic. If you're familiar with my project, Polaris, that was a thing for a while. So I just wanted to put it out there, some of the things that I just kind of learned or came to understand as I was writing. Some of them are, stuff you hear but you don't think about until you're doing it. But yeah, so this is also my experience, so it could be different for you, could be the same, could be similar, could be not. This is just what I learned while I was going crazy making my passion project. So starting with the tips, number one is working on the draft. Make sure you take enough time to work on your draft. One of the first things that everyone tells you when you start a story is, the first draft is not the vibe. Write it out a few times, take notes of anything that feels weird or you don't necessarily like you can change them later in the next draft, and then kind of just do the same thing over. When I was working on Polaris, the first draft I did, when Colton has his first very important talk with Dinah, he definitely did not come off as a caring guy. He kind of just came off as a jerk, which, if I left it that way, you could probably later look at it and just be like, oh, he cared about what she was doing, he just didn't know how to say it. And in a way that could work, but I just didn't like it. He came off as a jerk and he didn't seem caring at all the way he went about it. So I changed that in the next one I did, but this comic is not in progress anymore. But that was one of the things I changed, that I took note of, was weird, didn't like it, changed later. The next one is kind of continuing off of that, focus on getting things down, get it written down. It won't be perfect, trust me, for real, it will not be perfect, and I need you to hear that because I did not. And just the writing out characters. If you're like me, normally, you can, I don't know, I have a very easy time getting into characters' heads, their motivations, what they would say. But when I was writing the story, nothing was right. The characters felt weird. They talked differently than I wanted them to. Just, again, write it out and, let it be for now. You're gonna fix that in the next draft. For me, every detail, I was paying too much attention to, and I just needed to stop, let it be in the first draft, and move on to the next one. Also try out new ideas, try out different beginnings, different middles, and subplots. When you're in the first draft and the beginning stages, this is the time to explore, and so don't give up that opportunity to just try literally anything. Also break down your project into manageable tasks. This is not a great example, but it's just what I wrote down real quick. A, like writing and the script. B, like you've gotten your script down, you know what you have, what characters you'll need, so you can start thinking about the characters, like who they are, what their designs are. And that's if you don't already know, or if like you had set side characters that you didn't know if you'd need to draw out, but now you have your whole script ready or your writing done, so you know what characters you'll need. From there, I don't know if, you know, some people might want to do like environments before they design the characters. Me personally, environment always comes second. I'm very character and like I'm very character driven, so environments always are on the back burner. From there, you can figure out the art style and the rendering, how simple or complicated you want it. Pro tip, keep it simple. And then, you know, from there, like that's more or less like you have your thumbnail and sketching, and then more or less you have your like concept stages pretty much done. From there, like you're obviously gonna start creating the comic, so you know you get your lining next, and then your coloring, and then your like speech bubbles, or you can do like 1 page a day, like depending on how you want to do it and how you think like for you, like just, you know, you got to figure out what works best for you. I think for me, like doing a page a day kind of is better, because then I can see my progress and my brain understands that we're making progress a little easier, but everyone's different. Another tip is not doing it alone. Just don't. You know, if you have a best friend or a mutual who's interested in your project, maybe even just, you know, your group of followers on Instagram or Twitter or Kara, Blue Sky, whatever you're on, even just, you know, your Discord friends, just do what you can to share it. And I know that can be uncomfortable depending on how you see it, or maybe you want to keep like spoilers to yourself. Don't, like, well, you know, keep really, really important spoilers that you want to surprise your friends with, but don't hold it all in. There will be a group of people who weren't a part of like this little clique that will be surprised or won't know what's coming, and then if you do that, like you have a support system to keep you motivated, and their excitement will like also excite you, and you guys can have your silly little conversations about like, oh, what if this character did that, or what if, like, if this happened, like how would this character react. Like you can have your fun conversations about the characters, and you also have a group of people that you can problem solve with. It's really hard to problem solve weird plot holes and, you know, bad character conversations, or whether this character behavior is believable, when the only person you're talking to is the person who is way too close to this project. Do not trust yourself. I'm just kidding, trust yourself, but keep a group of people to share with. This is something I'm really bad at doing, and so it's something I'm working on. But yeah, next, this one, pretty obvious, something we're all gonna be like, oh yeah, I know, but we're all gonna do it anyways. Don't be a perfectionist. Stop. It's not allowed anymore. You're not procrastinating. Those privileges have been revoked, and you're going to sit down. You're going to sketch out this idea. You're going to sketch out your panels, and when you have a panel that you do not like, you're going to mark it with an X, and you're going to move on to the next one. And then when you're done with that for the day, you look through your work, you reward yourself with a little gander at all of your amazing sketches that you've worked so hard on for the day. And when you see that X and the sketch that you in the moment did not like, you now have the chance to decide, is this good? Do I need to change it? Now is the time to check and decide, and you can either do that tomorrow or do it real quick before you're done for the day. Try to do this with just about everything. Just do it, mark it, move on. Make that a mantra. Do it, mark it, move on. That's something that I started to do while I was doing like the inking for Polaris, and it definitely made it easier. Like it did like relieve some of the stress on my brain, because I wasn't just moving on without giving myself the chance to fix it later. Last little tip, I'm sure there's a million more tips that, you know, people could write down for comic making. These are the ones that's coming to mind. And it's also, I'm trying not to make this video super long, and, you know, just the fourth like overall tip is be nice to yourself. You know, I've said this in other videos, like, no slave driver, give yourself breaks. You don't have to finish this comic in one day, trust me. You work your hour, your 2 hours, whatever time you've set aside for this thing, and after that you're gonna go to bed, or you're gonna eat, you're gonna go see your friends, take a walk. Like, you're going to set it aside so that you can have your settling down part of the day. And, you know, at the end of the day, you're not happy with what you've made. It's okay. Not every day is going to be great. You are going to have days that you feel like either you didn't do much work, you didn't do enough work, it wasn't good enough. And if you're like me, you're gonna start crying. It's just, and that's a sign that you need to take a step back. Like, maybe you're stressing yourself out too much, and if it keeps happening, you need to kind of stop and think about, like, you know, why you started this project in the first place, whether it's worth it to continue. You know, and if it is worth it to continue, why are you putting so much pressure on yourself? And if you can, like, call a friend or something. And, you know, I'm just having a really hard time, like, with this project that I'm working on, and you know that it's something I want to work on, but for whatever reason, like, today was just really hard. And I think talking about it definitely is one of the better options. Again, I'm really bad at that, so maybe a little hypocritical right now, but it's fine. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for, like, my tips for today. And, you know, this is coming from someone who has tried for a couple of years, like, to make her own comic. Like, it was hard. Obviously I didn't succeed. I'm setting my comic aside for now. I have some work to show for it, not as much as I'd like, which is a little disappointing for me, but I'm taking, you know, some of the advice that I'm giving, and I'm putting it aside. Polaris is going on the sidelines. I'm going to try something else, and I'm going to recover from, like, I would say, like, a year of, like, burnout, because I pushed myself for so long to try and create this thing. I would say, like, that was, like, a whole year of burnout that I didn't even recognize, because I was pushing so hard and just being delulu, like, this is the starving artist kind of aesthetic. I don't know. I don't regret it necessarily. I learned a lot, and you know, making this, I would just love to see other people like hear this and kind of think about it and succeed in that department. At some point I might try again, but definitely when I know I can do it in a healthy way that's not gonna stress me out. I have everything, like I have all of my priorities in place, and I know how to plan out the project. Right now I am working on a project called Boba Bunny. I have some concept art, not a whole lot yet, because you know, I tried to do another character expression sheet, and it didn't go well, and I know that it probably disheartened me a little more than it should have, but I redrew it from my sketchbook, and I just need to throw it into Clip Studio and do it again. But the process for making these things also feels really long. And that's what these sheets are like in the speed paint in the background. Like, that's what I've been working on, and I tried to do the next character and it didn't go well, so you know, I'm going to get back on it, but I'm also trying to give myself some space till I feel really ready for it, because I'm just very wary of burnout and pushing myself too much. That's one of the reasons why I haven't put out like a YouTube video lately like that, and some other stuff. I've been talking with someone in the background. Like my YouTube videos might be a little further in between unless I have like a quick speed paint I can post like just between longer videos, because I also want to put more work into these videos. Like 2 weeks definitely stresses me out, and I'm just like, there's no way I can make what I want and like have all of the extra stuff in it that I want with just like 2 weeks. But yeah, like another reason was just January has like thrown me for such a really big loop. Like I've been doing I've been sticking with my therapy sessions weekly. I've been looking into a psychiatrist. Like I've just had a really like big relapse on just like anxiety, just because January's been a little stressful, but it's fine. It happens. And you know, talking with my therapist to get some healthy coping mechanisms started, I would really love to see if like we come up with something that helps with like this stressing that I do about like every little detail. I would really love that. Also wanted to like just say thanks for sticking around and watching these videos that I've started. I've definitely loved doing videos again. It's a different like creative outlet that I never really thought was like as cool as like it is doing it. It's just different. It's like a different process and everything that I can still be creative with. And I also kind of, I don't know if other people do this, but I do like go back and rewatch my videos just because, you know, it's kind of fun to see what I've created. But yeah, yeah. Thank you all for coming. I guess I'll give you guys a little moment of peace before the end of this video. Thanks for coming. God bless. Doubi out.